Hey everyone, Dylan 13 here. I felt like I needed to make this video. I just got done watching Season 5, Episode 10, the series finale of Samurai Jack. And for those who are scared of spoilers, do not worry. This is going to be a spoiler-free review. It's just a retrospect. This is just me talking about my feelings on the show. Because honestly, the show is too good to say anything about. The story. I could not talk about one thing that happened this entire season. But I have so much to say about just the show in general. And that is a rarity, especially for me, because I've always been a type of person who likes when there is story in something. When you see, or when there's a story to be told that the animator wants, and you see it, and you don't realize how beautiful it is until it's over. And this is that show. In no particular order, it's actually part of my top 5 favorite cartoons of all time. Samurai Jack. It's Samurai Jack, Futurama, Teen Titans, the original series, not Adventure Time, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Steven Universe. Those are some of my favorite story based cartoons. In terms of, if you're wondering, real quick on my top, what else is in there, the original Looney Tunes. Basically, take your pick on one of them. Any of the Mickey Mouse stuff from the early to mid 2000s. Great runs of everything. DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, and then I think rounding off I'd probably have to give it to Phineas and Ferb. Those are my 10. Those are my 10 cartoons. The ones I could when I'm old and gray, and this site is probably a distant memory. I'll still try to find. I'll still watch. In terms of Jack itself, everyone, I remember hearing from an interview with the man who made the movie The Thief and the Cobbler, the original mastermind behind that movie. He said that when you have a craft, when you study a craft, you're an apprentice. When you know everything about that craft, you become a master, and you have to make your masterpiece. This, I feel, is Grandy Tarkovsky's masterpiece. Now, I'm not so ignorant to know that this is not just a one-man person or a one-man doing this. There was the hundreds of animators, the voice actors, the musicians that all helped make this beautifully done cartoon that rivals some full-on animated movies and full-on full-on series of how beautiful it was. The storytelling was excellent. The character designs were amazing. The score, the art direction, the voice acting, everything about this especially the main character and the the villain. Jack and Aku will stand the test of time as some of the best developed cartoon characters ever. They were everything about it was beautiful, and this series was part of my childhood. Like I vividly remember when I was a kid watching the three-part series or series introduction, season 1, episodes 1 through 3, watching them as a movie because they were like I couldn't get enough. I every single time it was on, it was on my TV, wherever I was watching, unless I was at or I didn't have access to my own TV. I was watching Samurai Jack. My every time it came on a rerun, every time it came on live, I was there. I tried to watch every episode. I've seen every episode at least 3 times each. Some of them more, some of them less. Because it was one of those shows I felt was mine. I felt I was engaged. I loved it. It's one of the shows I'm going to show my children if I ever have any. I will show it to them because it's just so beautiful. The series was gone for a while. I think it stopped at around 2006. I believe it was 10 or 11. I think no, it was 2004. I believe it stopped like after like they moved on. And it was off for a while. Like you can look this up. I'm not entirely sure. All I know was it was gone for a long time, and when I heard the initial rumor, the initial whispers of a movie, that they were going to make a movie that ended the series, I was excited. I was overjoyed. And then I heard the confirmation that he was working on something that related to something that he worked on in the past. And at the time, that could have been anything, because Granny Torikoski actually worked on Samurai Jack, Dexter's Lab. He worked on Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo. He worked on a lot of things. And I was like, what could it be? Could we finally get the closure we've been wanting for so long? And it was confirmed it was Jack. And from there, he decided a movie would be good. A 10-episode series would be better. He made, it's definitive end. The final chapter was delayed for 2 years. But since it came on, I couldn't get enough. It was every bit what I needed it to be. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean that the expectation that I had was not only met, it was so far under what it actually turned out to be, I couldn't help but smile at the end. I was sad, but not for the ending. The ending of the episode. I was sad for the ending of the show, because we will never get a show like this again. This exact style, that it could come back after so long and be just like it never left. It's so rare that happens. Like it's never the same person. Almost never. Like we've had plenty of shows come back. Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls. We've had reboots of Looney Tunes so often. Like, or Scooby. There's like a new Scooby-Doo practically every 2 years, and they're never as good as the last one. Or they get into such an interesting spot and they get canceled. It happens. It's the reason or the last show that I know that I could think of that actually it went on hiatus. They said it was done. It came back and was like they never left was Futurama. And for it to be in the same category as that one is beautiful. Because they're both the same way. They're portrayed as kid shows. Cartoons are. But those two in particular, those two are the ones that people are going to look at and say, these aren't for kids. But they are for kids. Futurama wasn't made to be a kid's show. That didn't stop us from watching it anyway. Didn't stop us with The Simpsons. Didn't stop us with Beavis and Butthead. Didn't stop us with South Park. But the difference between those three and Futurama was one of the few shows you can look back on and say it ended at the perfect time. Every episode from beginning to end was brilliant. And some of the funniest stuff was the stuff when you knew they were just experimenting on anything. One of the things that I loved about Samurai Jack the most was the way if I could compare it to anything, compare it to Mad Max. The Mad Max series, the movies, the books, whatever you want to say. The main character goes into a problem, sees what's going on, offers to help. Maybe nothing more than some supplies, a good night's sleep, a place to rest, eat. Helps the solution or helps figure out the solution, and then goes off. Doesn't ask for a thank you. Doesn't need one, because he knew that what he was doing was in a way to help keep what little humanity was out there and what little humanity he had left alive. That was Jack. Jack knew, or he did it for 50 years. It's not a spoiler. It's in every promo thing that it's 50 years later between season 4 and season 5. And he lost all hope essentially. And we know what's going to happen. Anybody who has taken a creative writing class knows the story that he's doing. The odyssey he's partaking in. The journey was just as important as the destination. And in the destination, he made allies, he made enemies. Above all else, he gave people hope. And if anything, to talk about the ending just briefly, not spoiling anything, like I said, the ending was so perfect for it, perfect for his journey, perfect for what he was all about. It's beyond words, really. Even if this was a spoiler review, I couldn't find the words to say how poetic the ending was. The moral that it leaves you with, if you think about it. The way everything fell into place. I have no idea where, if they had somehow kept it going, where it could have gone. There's no add-on. There is no path it could have gone other than this, and I'm glad it just did this. Now, the one downside, the one downside is that we, as a community, as a fandom, won't get everything we wanted. I mean, we all wanted him to succeed in his mission, sure, but there are things that we kind of wanted for him that we don't know if we're gonna get. Myself, I've wanted him to be happy, and for a while he was. Throughout the entire series, he found his happiness helping people. He gave everything for everyone else, but a lot of people didn't really give anything to him. Hey, it's a pretty poignant thing to say, that you don't have to, or that sometimes you can do everything right and still everything can go wrong for you. That was one of the morals of the show that a lot of people didn't pick up on, but the few of us who did, the few of us who knew that no matter what happens, life goes on. There is no happily ever after. There is just after. There's just being. I've gone on, I think, far enough. My final thoughts on the series, on the season, on everything, Samurai Jack, was this was everything I wanted it to be. Everything I hoped it would be. I love the series. I love the characters. I love the art style, the music, the voice acting. Like I've said already. And I hope that we see something of it again. In fact, if anybody who watches this video, that is any type of creative talent, push to do it. Push to be that character, push to be the next Granny Torikoski. Push to be the one that actually makes the next show that gets people like me talking about. Because that's all that anybody could ask. Anyway, this has been Delo 13. I'm not gonna bore you that much longer. All I'm going to say on this video is follow me on Twitter at dluna1338. I usually am there all the time. Follow me here, or subscribe to my channel for more videos like random thoughts. I'm gonna start doing random retrospectives, movie reviews. Of course, my main thing is follow me for if you are a fan of WWE. I'll do recaps and my thoughts on everything, including a video tomorrow about Backlash. I had to think of the name there for a second. So that's it for me. It's been Delo 13. Later.